Hello, dear students. This is an lecture on introduction to big data. So, to understand a big data, let us start with a very simple example. All of us use smartphones, right? This is a part of our daily life. Now, whenever we are using a smartphone, we basically use the smartphone for sending text messages, then also for sending photos, or also for sharing audio or maybe video, then maybe emails, and we also use it for searches, Google search, whatever we, if you want to get some answer, we search it online. Now, have you ever wondered how much data is this mobile phone is actually you are actually generating through this mobile phone while sharing text messages, photos, audio, video, email, searches, etc. and etc. So there is an approximation about it. So approximately, when a normal person is using a smartphone, so in 1 month, a person can generate a data of about 40 exabytes. So this is the data for one person while using a smartphone. So if a person uses a smartphone for 1 month, he is supposed to generate 40 exabytes of data. Now the question is, what is an exabyte? What is 40 EB? So when I say 1 exabyte, 1 EB is actually 1000 petabytes. Now what is a petabyte? So petabyte is nothing but 1 million trillion bytes. So it means 1000 into 1 million trillion bytes. So that means 10 to power 3, 1 million means 10 to power 6, trillion means 10 to power 12 bytes. So that means it is around 10 to power 21 bytes. So just imagine, such a huge number of data is just created by one person while using one mobile phone. I'm not even talking about, and in 1 month, I'm not even talking about computers and any other clustered system or anything. This is only about a mobile. Now think that this number is to be multiplied by 6.84 billion, because at present when I was making this video, number of smartphone users in the world was recorded as 6.84 billion, and it is not a static data. It will definitely be changing every day, every minute, every day. So so it has to be multiplied by 6.84 billion smartphone users approximately to give the actual data generated per month. So if you ask me that how much of smart data is generated through a smartphone in 1 month, then I will have to say that it is equal to 40 into 10 to power 21 into 6.84 billion bytes. So this is the exactly the smartphone data that is created in 1 month. And what this particular thing carries, it can be photos, it can be music, it can be video, it can be audio, it can be emails, it can be searches, it can be phone calls. And this is a huge number to be processed by mind or human brain, isn't it? Forget about our human brain. It is quite a large number of data, huge volume of data for a traditional computer system to handle or to process. So this massive amount of data is basically known as, this massive amount of data is known as big data. So this massive amount of data is known as big data. Now let's just have a look at the data generated per minute in the on the internet. So first, if you ask me for about Google searches, when we are talking about Google search, there are a 3.8 million searches are made on Google. Approximately 1 million people log into their Facebook accounts every minute. If you talk about YouTube, where we are just at present watching this video, 4.5 million videos are being watched on YouTube, are watched on YouTube every minute. 188 million emails are sent every minute. All this data I'm talking is in a time range of 1 minute. So this is again a huge data. If you go back to this data, it is 3.8 million searches are done per every minute on Google. 1 million people log into Facebook account every minute. 4.5 million videos are being watched on the YouTube every minute, and 188 million emails are sent every minute. So this is a huge data when considered in a time frame of 1 minute only. How do we classify big data? Okay, so classification of big data is done on concept of 5 V's. Okay, so we basically do, there are 5 V's. What are the 5 V's? First V is volume. Okay, second V is velocity. Third V is variety. Fourth is veracity, and fifth is value. So we have 5 V's for classification of the big data. Now, to understand this concept of 5 V's of big data classification, let us consider the case of a case as an example. Say our healthcare system or healthcare industry, which basically includes hospitals, clinics, diagnostic centers, etc., etc. So suppose we are considering a healthcare industry, and first of all, so our example is about healthcare industry. So when we will be first discussing about volume. Okay, so hospitals and clinics involved in the healthcare system generate massive volume of data. Okay, that data may be related to anything. It can be patient data, it can be diagnostic result, test results, it can be the prescriptions, it can be the medicines, any kind of log entered for the patient's health management. So it's a huge volume of data. And for example, if you want to have some statistics, usually for the point of view of volume, around approximately 2300 exabytes of data are created per annum. So that means it's a huge volume. The next classification basis is the velocity. So patient records and test results, these are basically generated at a very high speed, because every minute the patients are admitted, somebody will fall sick, they will be admitted, they will be operated, they will prescribe medicines, they will be tested for various diagnosis probabilities. So there will be patient record and test results. So it will be created in a very high speed, which attributes to the velocity of a big data. The third type is called, is on the basis of variety. So variety basically refers to the data type. So some data may be organized, or maybe you can say that structured. Suppose you have an Excel sheet of certain area, like number of patients, the medicines prescribed to them. The next is semi-structured. So in that case, it can be some log files maintained. Okay, so this is semi-structures, and another is called unstructured. So they are not maintaining any structure. So it can be the diagnostic report, it can be the ultrasound, x-ray images, USG reports, anything. It can be the unstructured part. Next, another type of the basis of classification of big data is the veracity. So it basically refers to the accuracy and trustworthiness of the data. And the last one is called the value. So analyzing the data, big data, we will get a benefit in the health sector of any system. So which because it will result in a faster disease detection. It will also lead to better treatment and reduced costs. So this is basically the significance of the big data. Now next section is about how do we store and process the big data. For this particular job, we have various frameworks. Okay, so when we talk about the framework, so first is about, there is a framework that is called Cassandra. Next is Hadoop, and the third one is called Spark. So there are three basically available frameworks for storing and processing big data. So in this particular lecture, I will be discussing about Hadoop. So here we will take Hadoop as an example, and let's see how Hadoop can store and process the big data. So here our working example is the Hadoop. So what Hadoop does, Hadoop basically uses a distributed file system. It is called Hadoop Distributed File System, HDFS. What HDFS actually means, HDFS. So here suppose you have a huge folder or huge file. Say this file is, say, 300 MB. So now what will happen in Hadoop, this file will be broken into smaller chunks, okay, and it will be stored in different machines. So the smaller chunks are like this. So this is one, this is say 128 MB, this is also 128 MB. These are the smaller chunks, and this is, meaning is 44 MB. All right. Now, not only this, apart from breaking the file into small chunks, it also makes copies of it. Okay. So, how it makes the copies? Say this is A, originally it is A, it will make another copy B. Say originally it is A, it will make another copy C, and then it is C, and then it is B. So in this way you can store your big data in a distributed way, and also you can make sure that if one machine fails, your data is saved in another machine. So that was about this HDFS is about storing the data safely. Now next, for the processing of the data, a map reduce technique is used for processing big data by using Hadoop. So in this case, what they will usually do, suppose you have a very long task. Okay, the nature of this task is a very long task. Okay, so that long task will be broken into smaller tasks. So this is B, this is task B, this is task C, this is task D. So in this particular layer, these are small tasks. Okay, then instead of one machine, what happened? Three different machines take up this task and complete the task in a parallel fashion. So this thing, they are doing this work in parallel fashion, and at last they will assemble the result. After finishing the task, after computing the things, they will assemble the results at the end, and then we will get the result. So due to this method, processing has become easy as well as faster. Okay, this method is called so after storing. So we are done with storing and processing of big data. Storing is done by Hadoop HDFS, and processing we did with the help of parallel processing system, which is a part of the map technology. So after storing and processing the big data successfully, we can analyze it for numerous purposes or applications. So now we will be talking about why analysis of big data is necessary. So considering the analysis of big data, let us consider an example. Say for a certain online game, the analysis the person who is analyzing the big data will analyze at which particular section the user pauses or restarts or quits the game. By doing so, they can work on to improve the game and make it more user friendly and popular. So this is one of the examples of the necessities of big data or analysis or applications of big data analysis. Another example of so this is first example is about online games. Next is more important, that is called disaster management. So next is about disaster management. Big data can be helpful in disaster management. It can be used for better understanding of the storm effects on various regions of a country. Suppose there is a storm warning, or there is a natural calamity warning. So how it is affecting the various regions of a country based on its geographical position, or anything else, and based on that some necessary actions can be taken in future, so that less damage happens to the people. It could, as in some examples, the big data analysis was found to be helpful in predicting the landfall of a hurricane 5 days in advance, which was not possible earlier. So we understand that, from this we have understood that how useful the big data analysis can be. For that, it has to be stored, processed and analyzed properly. So in this particular video we have understood why, what is a big data, what are the types of big data, why big data analysis, how a big data is stored, how big data is processed, and how, what is the necessity of doing or having a big data analysis. That's all for this lecture. Thank you so much.